All right, we're here using the Bombardier team. Now, just like with yesterday, this team is not going to have a team builder. This is mostly because Blake, aka Kaguya Falls on Twitter, is the one who actually built the team. So yesterday's team I built, and just unfortunately it was 6 a.m. It's not 6 a.m. today, thankfully. I double checked my audio settings as well today. We're not gonna have to re-record the video, but again, it's a team that I didn't build, and I didn't want to like butcher the team. If you want a quick explanation, TLDR, I was told quite literally by Blake when using this team, a pretty simple game plan. In fact, Blake essentially said that they were typically leading off with like Aleki, and then yeah, no, that's pretty much it. It was like literally Aleki Bombardier, and just that, honestly, that looks pretty decent here, I can't lie. The one exception, I guess, so maybe we don't lead Bombardier, but Aleki or Shifu seems actually like a really good lead, and then going Bombardier. My biggest concern is dual intimidate, especially with Landers in particular. It does stop a lot of the potential to Terra Rock immediately. And Urshifu will pressure this team so well, barring like Terra Dragon. So honestly, I think it's a really good lead. My final mon will probably be Clefairy. I think Clefairy does a great job at just generally supporting the team. And it could honestly just be like a decent redirector. They have a lot of single target mons. Specifically, a few things that come to mind are the Compe. I could definitely redirect a lot of key hits from that, though. Actually, never mind. I can't really redirect anything from Compe because it's probably going to be all priority, but what I can redirect is especially like the Ensign. I can redirect really anything that's not like potentially Heatwave Volk, and even then that might be Fire Dance. And then like Fluttermane. Otherwise though, redirect City. They're gonna lead off with Landorus and Volcarona. Honestly, this is perfectly fine. My play immediately turn 1, so we are a Scarf for Shifu, so I could honestly get away with like a Terra Blast Ice into the Landorus and then going for Surgeon Strix into Volk. My issue is Flame Body though. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm gonna go for Protect on Aleki, and I'm gonna go for the Surgeon Strix here into Landorus and just see what their thought process is. I'm not going to burn a Terra just yet, mostly because depending on what they decide to Terra and like how they Terra into it, I might lose Urshifu this turn, unfortunately. They're going to Terra the Volk. Okay, that's huge. It's Terra Water Volk, actually. So that gives Aleki a huge advantage on the next turn. I can now proceed to just go straight for Thunderbolt or even Electro Web into that spot. I do need to be a bit careful of Rage Powder Volcarona this turn, though. It might Rage Powder and Flame Body me, and I can't do a lot about that. Okay, so they're going to U-turn, and they were U-turning into Aleki. That also means that they are a faster Scarf Landorus in my set. So that is very good to note, which makes sense, to be fair. I'm pretty confident that this is a, and I do actually need to double check it, but I am pretty confident this ends up being a Adamant Urshifu, I want to say. I have the paste, actually. Because I sent it to Kurt because before I got the rental from Blake, I ended up using, I had Kurt make me a rental just in case with the paste. So I have the paste. I should probably pull it up so I can make sure I know my spreads. Because that's good information immediately. Yeah, that proves to be, yeah, so we're Adamant 164. So that might not be necessarily, I think it's actually perfectly creeps Adamant Landorus, actually, now that I'm saying that out loud. So Landorus, Korean, Choice Scarf, first Rapid, and then what, like 164. Okay, never mind. This is a POW creep. This is then, yeah. So then Landers could still be Adamant for what it's worth, but it doesn't really matter either way. They've now burned Terra, which is huge. I can proceed to just go for an Electro Web. Let me actually double check. I forgot to see what move the Volt clicked last turn. They clicked Quiver Dance. Okay. So my play should actually always be Electro Web, and then go for the Surging Strikes into the Oricorio, and just kill the Oricorio very quickly. There might be Covert Cloak on probably Oricorio if anything, but I'm kind of okay with that. Nope, not Covert Cloak on Oricorio. I thought for a second that we were going to see Covert Cloak on Volcarona, but they're just popping an item. So that makes sense. And then, yep, Volcarona is Covert Cloak. Okay, that is actually, again, very good information we now have. Not only this, so Volcarona is unfortunately already in a pretty decent spot. But thankfully, though, if they aren't going to be going for some sort of Giga Drain on this, which I'll admit, Giga Drain is actually a pretty likely option, but specifically the fact that Terra Water makes me believe they might just go for like Terra Blast, Heat Wave, Bug Buzz as another option, potentially. Though Bug Buzz might also be ditched. There's a lot of moves this thing could get. Could even just be Quiver Dance Protect, to be honest, or even like Quiver Dance and like Struggle Bug. There's a lot of options this thing could get, or even like a single target fire move like Fire Dance and then Heat Wave, just to have the option for spread and not spread. There's a lot of options. Giga Drain is a pretty likely one though, for what it's worth. Their final mon is going to be Flutter Mane. That's perfectly okay. If they're special attack, then we're just going to Surging Strikes into Flutter Mane. They're going to be speed. Okay. So my play then should probably actually be to Terra the Urshifu. I think that in every scenario, I go for Thunderbolt into the Volcarona here. And then I think I go for... I could actually swap into Clefairy here. Clefairy might be a decent switch in, if nothing else, just to get Urshifu to not have to lock Surging Strikes here. Because Urshifu... No, actually, never mind. I think I just go for Terra Water Surging Strikes into Flutter Mane, and then I swap it. I think it's a better play for us, but we'll have to see. It's going to be very dependent on what the Volcarona clicks. I might, unfortunately, just be in a bad position here. Because the Flutter Mane plus Volk, in theory, could Heat Wave plus Gleam, and I can't do a lot about it. So going for Terra Water on Urshifu is kind of like my best case scenario. I could also swap into Clefairy here, but I do kind of need the damage on Volt because it is just that threatening. They're going to go for Bug Whiz. Okay, yeah. So something like this, for example, like I was going to die to that anyway, even with Clefairy coming in. However, this does now give me a turn to actually like severely damage that Volcarona, and I could pick it off. And a Bombirdier and Regieleki set could actually put a lot of pressure on the Flutter Mane. So I'm kind of okay with that. Oof, okay. That is not good. I'm gonna go for the Clefairy here. Ooh, that's not good at all. Okay. So I need to go for a Protect here for sure. Definitely Protect here. And then I think I need to go for just a Moonblast into the Volcarona and just hope that I can maybe crit it. But that's not good at all, actually. That is very not good. I am kind of just gonna hope for the best here, I'll be honest. Also, this just helps me stall a turn and Scout Moosehead a bit. They're gonna be Fire Dance, it's fine. That will kill Clefairy. Oh no, it doesn't kill. Okay. Hold on. Clefairy's kind of cooking. Okay. Gleam is gonna go off, that's fine. Clefairy will probably die, unfortunately, of that, but it is what it is. Okay, yep, Clefairy does die to that, unfortunate. Yeah, fuck. Terra Water Volk might have done it for me. I think I should have probably just tried to target that mon a bit more with Aleki. At the same time, though, like, such a dumb mon. Truly a dumb mon. Okay. So, I think my play actually should have probably been to Electro Web. I'm gonna Electro Web now, just in case I somehow take the hit. And then I'm gonna go for Sucker Punch into the... I'll go for it into the Flutter Mane, because I'm assuming that Volk is gonna Quiver here. So we're gonna Sucker Hope for crit. We do not get the crit, unfortunate. Crit would have probably killed, actually, unfortunately. But it's fine, it's fine. Okay, Volk does go for an attack. So be it. Yeah, I definitely didn't play that one the best. To be fair, I think realistically that Volk was always going to be kind of like a not great matchup. But there was ways to have won that for sure. I don't think I took advantage of them out well, but it's fine. It's only game one. We still have a couple other games to show off this team's power. And I think we had the right idea for the Mons. Maybe not Clefairy, to be fair. Maybe I should have brought like Incin. I think would have been the better call here in hindsight. Especially if I was going to play like how I did. Like Incin actually would have given me an out there. And I could have actually used Incin to potentially win that over Clefairy. But it is what it is. I'm not too upset with it. We'll see you guys in game number 2 though. Alright, for game number 2, we're taking on what looks to be like a Tailwind Baxcalibur team. I like the dual steel. It's kind of interesting here. I'm curious on why Iron Crown no Psy Spam. I feel like that maybe they just didn't have an Indeedee. I don't know. Either way though, Urshifu does a lot into this team. I mean, it's Urshifu, obviously it's gonna do a lot. I could probably lead off with... So, because of the fact they do have Torn, I do actually need to be pretty careful because a lot of their Torn partners could be pretty bad. I'm gonna lead off with Urshifu, well, Incineroar and Aleki. Getting that Fake Out initiative immediately will be huge, especially if they do lead with Urshifu. Really, I just fake out the partner that's not Tornadus, and I go for Electro Web immediately on turn 1. That should be pretty decent no matter what they go for. And then I think I go with Urshifu, and I think I end off with Bombirdier as my final mon. I think this set of 4 is pretty decent here. I could potentially have also went with Hydrapple. I know they have a Baxcalibur, but it is a pretty decent solution to Urshifu, especially with Terra. And I can Terra around a lot of my weaknesses in this team, and they don't really kill poison outside of Ursaluna. And I guess Iron Crown, to be fair, also puts a lot of pressure on that. But I think it is slightly worse than the 4 I brought, even though it does have some merit. They're going to lead off with Tornadus and Ursaluna. That's honestly still okay. Albeit now my play does change a little bit, actually, because I still need to go for Fake Out into the Ursaluna for sure. However, my new turn is to go for a Thunderbolt right into that Tornadus. If they're Focus Sash, good bring. It's definitely like a good ladder set for sure. They're gonna burn Terra already. They might be burning Terra on the Blood Moon. However, it doesn't outpace, so I'm kind of okay with letting them go for that. Yeah, the Terra Ghost. Okay, so they're gonna go for this just to avoid dying to, well, not dying, getting fake outed, which is honestly, I get it with this sort of matchup. But again, my goal here was more so to get a free turn for Lecky. So their Ursaluna never outpaces us, which is huge. So I'm pretty okay with that. The Torn will die, and that's already a pretty decent threat for Urshifu removed. My Urshifu also should still outpace this barely, but it should still outpace nonetheless. They're gonna Earth Power my Incin. Okay, honestly, I'm not losing Incin. I feel like the Incin was definitely the less scary Mon here. It's probably like the least scary Mon on the team. I just needed it turn 1. That is all I needed it for, was just for turn 1. Now I will say there is a little bit of a problem. It's not a huge deal, to be fair, and it still is a pretty winnable route for us. However, elephant in the room here, their Urshifu is kind of a problem with Tailwind up. If I can get past the Tailwind though, oh, they're cooked. They're very cooked. But I do need to get past the Tailwind is the issue. We're going to go for the Surging Strikes, and I am going to go for the Electro Web here. At minimum, this should put up some decent pressure. They can't really protect an Ursa around this. And this should hopefully, like in case if for some reason my my Urshifu is like just under creeping this, should really help with killing. Oh my goodness, I probably need a Terra Water for that. That's not good at all. That is definitely not good. Oh my goodness, that did nothing. My goodness. Okay, yeah, if I went for Terra Water, I think I was fine. Thankfully, they're not going to deal a lot of damage with Registeel, and they're going to go for Earth Power. Okay, that's fine. I just need the -1. I think I'm okay. I think I'm actually okay. I can now proceed to go for a... I could probably actually just go for Surging Strikes plus Sucker Punch and be fine. Thankfully, Registeel isn't going to hit Bombirdier for super effective. It is still neutral, thankfully, since we did not go for Terra. I could even just Terra the Urshifu right now, and that would be decent. I am going to definitely Sucker Punch the Ursaluna either way, though. I feel like going for Terra Surging Strikes into Registeel is the play. They don't have a good water switch in, right? Let me just double check that. Yeah, their water switch in is like Excalibur, but there's not really much I could do about that. That's kind of the other thing too, is there's no Pokemon on the team that I regret losing my fighting typing for. I feel like in every case, this is my line. So we're gonna Sucker Punch the Ursaluna here. That should pick off the Bear, which is gonna be huge before I get like Blood Moon to this turn. We saw that the Registeel also just does not deal a lot of damage to my Urshifu. Now they might have their own Urshifu, but I can actually make a very good play this turn if I can kill both these Pokemon. So hopefully this Terra Water will allow us to do so. Perfect. Bombirdier picks up a kill, already justifying its place in the team here. Huge for the bird. The bird is kind of cooking. Now, if I can kill the Registeel here, which might be possible actually with the Terra Water, specifically with the Terra Water plus the fact that Registeel is not, like, it's not going for a defensive Terra, like Dragon, for example. Ooh, wow, that does no damage. My goodness. Yeah, no, Urshifu Rapid might be a fraud without Rain. I'm gonna be honest, this one is kind of weak. Like, that's a 2 KO right there. Kind of insane, I can't lie. They're gonna go for Iron Hearts. Oh, thank God, they wasted a turn. They wasted a turn, ladies and gentlemen. We actually are still in this. Because if they bring in their Rapid Fu... okay. So, there's a little bit of a problem. If they bring in Rapid Fu, actually, I might be fucked. If they bring in any other Pokemon, though, I'm fine. Okay, Excalibur. Excalibur might be fine, actually. So, looking at my opponent's team, I tried to click up here. They have 1 turn of Tailwind left. Okay. So, I think they're going to honestly try and target my Registeel. Well, my Urshifu here. I think I just go for Rock Slide and just try and get some decent damage off him backs, and then I can Sucker Punch it on the next turn. They're going to Glaive Rush. Okay, perfect. So, they're taking super effective. They're going to kill my Urshifu. That's whatever. I just need to flinch the Registeel down is my play. Which is possible. It's not likely, but it's possible. Bax dies at least, so that's a huge threat to my Bombirdier gone. I'll need to probably keep flinching Registeel for a couple more turns to win this game. Which again, technically it's possible. It is technically possible. They're gonna Iron Defense. Okay, that's still fine. That's still fine. So thinking out loud though, I never Sucker Punch this because they're always getting advantage by going for Iron Defense here until they get to +6. And even still, I feel like that my play is always just to flinch them down. Flinch and hope for a crit. This is still a decent click into them for what it's worth, just because of the Rocky Payload and the single target. That still actually does a lot. Holy moly. Oh, we got another crit. That's why. Okay, that explains it. Can we flinch? We flinched. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. So this is huge, actually. We could maybe, so it depends on, okay. So I do need to actually double check this, because I'm actually genuinely curious. So, Registeel versus Bombirdier. We are Jolly Bombirdier with a Life Orb. We're Jolly. This is a single target set, though, with +4 defense. That does nothing. My goodness. Okay. We're gonna, fuck it. We're gonna flinch them down. We're gonna flinch them down. They dodge. Okay, good play. Good play. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. They're gonna see, oh, no, they're going for rest. What? So they're rest, iron defense, body press. I feel like did they choke? I mean, honestly, I don't even think I can combat this because I can't sucker punch this anyway. They just sleep talk and they win. I actually cannot flinch them down that much. My goodness. Yeah, and that does nothing. I'm gonna forfeit just to save time because, like, clearly this is not doing enough damage. Unless they kill me this turn. If they kill me this turn, then thank God. Unfortunately, we lost another game. I have faith, though, that in the last couple that we should be fine here. Yeah. I have faith. This one just wasn't, this one, unfortunately, like, I think I just got outplayed, to be honest. There wasn't a ton I could have done different, I think. Yeah, I don't think that much really changed unless I burned a Terra on Incineroar, I guess. Or maybe if I, like, burned a Terra on Urshifu earlier. Actually, if I burned a Terra on Urshifu earlier, maybe there could have been something. But even still, I don't think I was exactly in, like, a great position here. It is what it is. Honestly, not a big deal. I'll take the loss on this one. This one, I think, there were things I could have done more optimally, but I don't think it really changed the outcome of the game. I think my opponent just outplayed me, to be honest. Or even just Registeel was just really good in my team anyway. We're going to try and get another game, though. We'll see you guys in that next match. Alright, for game number 3, we're taking on a Rain team built around Archaludon. Definitely pretty interesting for sure, because they're opting for Politoed, which is a cool support Pokemon in its own right. But thankfully, though, this team is actually very weak to Regieleki in particular. Now, I do need to be actually very careful, specifically because of the Landorus existing. However, in every other lead, specifically besides Landorus plus Whimsicott, my best lead is Aleki. Landorus plus Whimsicott is the only route where that is not great. However, I actually just at that point would bring in my Hydrapple, which is a pretty decent piece here. I think unfortunately Bombirdier has to bench this game. It's not the best. That's not to say that there's not line. Actually, I feel like Bombirdier at minimum could do a bit more. That's actually a decent response to something like Ogerpon, and I could potentially Terra Rock on that mon and be good. I don't know if I need to Terra Rock necessarily, but even just the Sucker Punch priority is good for a lot of their team. Like, for example, the Raging Bolt getting Sucker Punched through, if they don't burn Terra on that, could be decent to stop getting deaths from Thunderclap. They're going to lead off with Archaludon and Whimsicott, which this is a very fine lead for us, for the record. I'm actually very okay with this lead, because what I proceed to do is I actually just go for the Thunderbolt and the Close Combat here, because this will account for any sort of Terra Fairy, because if they're going to go for Terra Fairy, they're definitely dropping the Thunderbolt. They're not going to go for Terra Fairy, which is fine. The one unfortunate thing is the fact that they're going to get a stamina boost from this, but Urshifu will still deal so much damage, I'm not too concerned with that. And Archaludon, thankfully, can only claim a kill into one of us, so that's fine. Yeah, honestly, that's Electro Web range at this point, and even with Tailwind, this is not outpacing me. There's no way. They would need to be, like, timid or jolly. Okay, they're going to beat up. That's fine. They're going to get a really strong body press off, but they can only claim a kill into one of these, so I'm pretty fine with that. They're most likely picking the Electrovite, I guess, considering they are a Rain team. So that's unfortunate, but again, still very fine with that. This is definitely in Sucker Punch range, even despite the +6. Well, +5, I should say. So, oh no, they go for Urshifu. Okay, that's actually much better for us. Yeah, this is actually very okay, because I can proceed to go for a Thunderbolt here. We know Thunderbolt will do enough. I could also just go for Terra Blast Ice. And then I go for Hydrapple, and I just dual wing beat the Whimsicott, which should be huge. Yeah, honestly, I could probably just go for the Thunderbolt into the Archaludon. We see that they're leftovers too, so they're not even AV. This is definitely going to drop, yeah. I'll go for dual wing beat into the Whimsicott, just really securing that damage. They might go for like a Moonblast here. I'm not too concerned with them going for Moonblast. Feel confident in, if anything, a Tailwind. Yep, Tailwind. That's perfectly okay. And now we're going to get off a pretty decent attack. Whimsicott will definitely die. Archaludon still is definitely going to be in range of a really powerful Thunderbolt from Aleki, and it should confidently get outpaced. I'm very confident in that. My one concern would honestly be Landers coming in, but I can still swap around it and then go for like a Sucker Punch. I would just need to double check how much Sucker Punch would do to Archaludon. So +5 Archaludon would take nothing from Sucker Punch. This mod is so weak. I love Bombirdier, but fuck is it weak. Okay, Landers, that's unfortunate. Landers coming in sucks for us actually. Okay. So I guess does Landers kill Terra Ice Alecki? Reggie Alecki, Terra Ice versus Landorus Therian. If we go for Terra Ice, Landorus actually should not kill us. And keep in mind, this is Adamant Scarf Landorus going for Tantra. They would have to go for Rock Slide or like Burn Terra Blast just for that. Meanwhile, my Alecki would also have like no bulk. So yeah, we're gonna go for the Terra Blast Ice. This is specifically though, I am gonna go for this into Archaludon. I just need to kill the Archaludon and this alone is worth it. I will then go for Dual Wing Beat into the Landorus spot just for damage. They're not gonna burn Terra, which is prevalent. Well, they might burn Terra on Archaludon, but definitely not on the Landers, because that is definitely gonna be outpacing us. There's no way in hell, even if they're not Scarf Landers, there's no way in hell that their Landers is slower than Alecki. They would need to be going for Rock Slide here, which if they're going for Rock Slide predicting the Terra, good play. They're actually not gonna go for it. They're not gonna outpace us either, which is insane. That's like a no-speed Landers. I burned my Terra to do this. Oh my goodness. I hate in-game ladder with a passion. I miss tournament. But thankfully we outpace. And we know that we can take that hit. Dueling Beat will also go off. It's not going to do much, especially considering the fact that we are intimidated. But that's fine. I guess if this is Sash Landers, it dies. Sure, I can take that. We definitely switch in Hydrapple here. No matter what comes in. Yeah, Raging Bolt, that's fine. And then I go for the Protect on Alecki. Actually, wait, Raging Bolt's in? Ooh, never mind. I actually let Alecki go down. Let me double check how many turns of Tailwind they have. Nope, I do actually go for Protect. Okay, yeah, I go for Protect. Because I want to make sure that I am not... So, I let Alecki die in the next turn to Thunderclap from Raging Bolt, specifically because by doing that, then their Tailwind is gone, and I could probably Sucker Punch the Raging Bolt down, which will be much better for us long term. And I could then use Hydrapple as well as good pressure. Unfortunately, I can't go for my Terra, which I would have loved to do on Hydrapple. But I'm okay with this. I'm accepting of that situation. They're going to Terra on the Landers, which is huge. It's another good reason for Protect. As they do go for Terra Flying. Now, Terra Flying is great for us, actually. I can also go for Rock Slide if we can kill the Raging Bolt here. The issue is I need to kill Raging Bolt here, which is not great. That's never a great thing to do. But I can maybe make it work. They're going to go for Protect for now. Protect is fine. My play should be to go for a Thunderbolt into the Landorus, because if I can go for Thunderbolt in the Landorus, then Hydrapple plus the Bombirdier can muscle. So I'm gonna go for Thunderbolt into the Landorus, and I'm gonna go for Fickle Beam into Raging Bolt here. They can't Terra Raging Bolt, so this is still gonna take a lot. Unfortunately, again, can't really do a lot else. Thankfully, you have Assault Vest, so maybe that'll help. They're not gonna Thunderclap. Okay, that's huge. I'm curious if they're gonna Calm Mind. I feel like the only reason you don't Thunderclap there is if you're going for Calm Mind, predicting that I would swap around this or like try and preserve around this. But I'm okay with that. They're gonna Dragon Pulse. Okay, so actually they're viewing the dragon as the threat. So Hydrapple thankfully took in some of this threateningness. And we actually win. We win guaranteed now because Raging Bolt can't kill both these mons. It is scientifically impossible. Raging Bolt is the loser here. Okay, so we got a decent win. Unfortunately, couldn't show up Bombirdier much, but honestly, Alecki and even I would argue the Hydrapple put in decent work. I would say even if they Thunderclapped, this was still actually a good position because I doubt that Landers got off enough damage into Apple as we saw earlier. Barring a Terra Blast. If they clicked Terra Blast there, then I was kind of fucked. But we'll have to see. Either way, it is what it is. We won the game. My opponent did not. So GG. Well played, and we'll see you guys in our final game of the day. Alright, for our final game of the day, we're taking on a Snow team. Now, Bombirdier actually has a really decent matchup into this. I can actually just lead off with Alecki and Bombirdier. Go for an immediate turn one, probably a Rock Slide plus a Electro Web. Let me actually double check that that's not a Covert Cloak A9. That would be like the one thing that is kind of concerning here. So let me double check that. I know it's pretty high on the Regulation F team still, because thankfully no one has updated that. It is light play. Okay, thank God. Yeah. So that's a very good lead for us actually. I can proceed to go with Urshifu Rapid for sure here, as it does Massacre, and then Hydropple is a really decent mon. I could also go with Incin here, just as fake out, or Clefairy even could be decent. Let me think. I'm gonna actually go with Clefairy. I think Clefairy drawing in Raging Bolt hits would be a bit safer, especially for Urshifu. And also for the bird, for that matter. I feel like it's really good for the bird too. I'm gonna definitely lean into my Terra on the bird in particular. It gets rid of my weakness to Thunderclap at least, and on top of that as well, it's also really good just for making sure that I'm not getting screwed over by a lot of their team, like Blizzard Mons, for example. So I'm gonna go for that. So we'll make that work. Okay, they're gonna lead off with A9 and Articuno. That's fine. Now I just need to hit these hits, and I'm good. If I can land these 2 attacks here, we're set. We are so set. The rest of the game is very winnable. I just need to land this set of turns. Specifically, if the Rock Slide and the Electro Web go off, this should be game. Because Bird will definitely massacre them. Bombirdier is like really good at this, thankfully. This is the one job it does well, is Rock Slide. So I just needed to hit the Rock Slide against the funny Ice type Pokemon. And then not to die to Blizzard. That would be great, actually. That would be so great. If this was just any other Terra Lucky, this probably would have been game to just Terra Lucky. But I think that, again, getting rid of our weakness to flying is too useful here. Electro Web does land on both Pokemon. That's huge. That is so huge already. Dropping both of their speed is objectionably really good for us. And Rock Slide does land on both Pokemon. Is this going to be enough? They do have Biz Def Boost, but is it going to be enough? We kill the well, we don't kill the Articuno, but we do kill A9. So no Veil for them. That's good. Articuno is still really terrifying. This is Specs Articuno. It got flinched though. We win the game right there. That is so huge. Oh my goodness. I think they might forfeit, I'll be honest. If they did, I wouldn't even blame them in honesty. Like that was, I didn't expect the flinch. I'll take it though. We definitely got lucky with that, considering this is also Snow Cloak, and the fact that we even like made that work is huge. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go for a Protect here, and I'm just gonna go for a Thunderbolt into the Articuno, just to make sure we can kill the Articuno here. They're gonna swap, that's fine. Is it gonna be a Raging Bolt? Because if it's Raging Bolt, then otherwise it is what it is. Because something else will take good damage. Raging Bolt, okay, whatever. At minimum, Bombirdier is still not bad. I'm gonna try and keep it around. Looking at their particular 3, this is actually a decent piece for us. So we'll definitely take that. I'm gonna proceed to bring in Clefairy right now, and then I'm just gonna raw Terra Blast into the Landorus, I think. The goal will be to get Urshifu in, and then follow me draw away. But I think the raw Terra Blast is definitely my best play. There's no reason to hard swap in Urshifu when they could just really Earth Power Sansir. That's really bad for us. I'm confident Clefairy could take that hit at least. I really don't want to have to make the Urshifu take that hit though. So raw Terra Blast will go off. This should still deal okay damage. Yeah, that's fine. That's honestly fine. Earth Power will go off to Clefairy. Clefairy does manage to, thankfully. And then they're gonna go for Snarl here. Snarl is whatever. I'm just gonna go for Protect on Clefairy in all honesty. And then just go for the... I'm just gonna go for the raw... I'm gonna go for the swap into Urshifu, I think. If this is the play that they're making, they're going for Earth Power. They're probably the subset actually if they're making this sort of play, which is fine. And I can just follow me plus I can follow me plus this, yeah. Okay, that should work. Let me open up their boost really quickly. Oh my goodness, something dropped. They're gonna Sludge Bomb to Clefairy, that's perfect. Okay, so they're Electro Web, so they could actually get some decent mileage out of that. Thankfully though, they're just clicking Snarl right now, so we'll take it for sure. And if they switch in Articuno, that's fine, so let's take a good hit. Electro Web could be a decent attack, but thankfully I don't think it kills. I think they would have to go for, let's see, yeah, so we're gonna click Follow Me here. They would have to click Thunderclap to kill, but thankfully they're not gonna get a good Thunderclap turn. And then once I kill the Landorus, Bombirdier actually goes to town because I just Sucker Punch the Raging Bolt down and it doesn't really bother me. They're gonna die for the Articuno here. That's huge because that's again, it's a really threatening Blizzard Mon here. Or even Freeze Dry. Freeze Dry is also really good. Or Sheer Cold if they really wanted to. At minimum though, we're gonna claim a nice kill. And again, I cannot imagine that I'm really gonna be afraid of the Raging Bolt here. Especially considering the fact if Friend Guard boosts 2, I really cannot imagine that will be a threat. Let's see. So, I do need to be a bit careful. Not like overly careful, but I do need to be a bit careful. More so. Okay, Electro Web does go off. The Fairy does survive though. Okay, perfect. That was the biggest concern right there. Urshifu still being here though is good. That's still really good for us because I can still outpace at minimum. So if this is the literal rental, by the way, to a T. So I'm gonna draw in the Landorus's hit and go for Follow Me. I'll sack Clefairy. This only has single target moves. So that Landorus does drop. They're probably gonna forfeit, to be honest. They might try and Thunderclap. I'm not too sure. Yep. Okay. So either way, Ball Maker's off. Thankfully though, the Scarf for Shifu will outpace Raging Bolt definitively. Landorus does go for a substitute here. That's fine. It wasted a turn because Surgic Strikes will still more than easily kill. Surgic Strikes does go off. That's fine. Raging Bolt is still kind of a threat, but again, Bombirdier can sucker punch around it, and Clefairy can also just life do it, which will be huge. That'll actually be really huge objectionally. They're gonna probably Electro Web though and claim a kill on both, which is still fine actually, because that just means I go for Terra Blast, like raw Terra Blast plus Sucker Punch. It's EV Raging Bolt. They have already burned their Terra, so this is actually really fine for us, and we're no longer weak to Electro Web, which is huge as well. They're gonna go for Electro Web. Yeah, okay, that's gonna kill both for sure. Never mind, Urshifu takes it. Urshifu taking that is kind of huge, I can't lie. I think there's a real chance to actually just go for Thunderclap into Urshifu and claim that kill, which is totally fair. For now, let me actually double check a Bombirdier calc real quick. I want to double check a Thunderclap calc because I don't think that I'm in a position to where I need to care. And then versus Bombirdier, we are Terra Rock, and then we're like just Force Spit F. I think we're just Force Spit F. Yeah, we're just Force Spit F. Thunderclap doesn't kill actually. It really doesn't do much. Yeah, okay, that's huge actually. Yeah. Fuck it. I'm just gonna go for a Rock Slide here then. Because that'll definitely deal more damage thanks to the Terra Rock and Rocky payload. And I think they're gonna go for Urshifu anyway. They're gonna not Thunderclap. Okay, that's fine. I really thought they Thunderclap. That's still massive damage right there. Bird is kicking ass this game. Finally. We finally get a Bird game where my opponent gets fucked in general by the Bird. Rock Slide flinches are definitely helping. They're super convenient, I can't lie. Bird would have still survived any Articuno hit though. I'm very confident in that. So I don't really think that would have made a difference. Aleki probably wouldn't have, but again, Aleki getting off the field was probably advantageous for us because it just brought in Urshifu, and especially against a team like this, that was always the line. We'll go for Sucker Punch here. Their play was probably Electro Web was what they were clicking, but getting in, like, I mean, I still Sucker Punched in one, so I'm not really too concerned. Like that did not matter. I actually don't think that it mattered at all. All that the flinches did would have been potentially putting Bird in Thunderclap range from the Raging Bolt, but that's fine then because I could have, if I was that low, I would just Sucker Punch. I would never have fucked around. But I'll take it though. I'll definitely take it. We finally get the good Bird game to end off on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, like and subscribe for more. Consider becoming a channel member because for the start of Regulation G, we are kicking it into overdrive. I appreciate our current members a lot, as we do currently have a bunch of you guys, and I want to quickly shout out all of our channel members as always. We have Zeke, Mia, Rao Sakura, Obo, Endless Gadgets, Incog M, Randy Chapa, and Josh K, Ultra Player, who is our bigger fan. Thank you guys so much for the support on the channel. It means the world. And with that said, I will see you guys in tomorrow's video where we're using Cosmoem in Regulation G for the start of our Regulation G laddering. Until then, peace out, guys.